Hey guys.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Back here with Pauline.
And Adan.
And we miss you so much. Winter break has whooped our ass. Just kidding. It was nice.
No, it was nice.
It was really nice.
It was okay. It wasn't very much of a break, but it was a break from school. So
Right, because I was doing so much when I was over there, but I wasn't doing school. That's what matters. How was your break on?
It was okay. I worked every single week, 40 hours.
I know. I stalked you.
I know. You told me.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's so silly.
How's it feel being back over here then? A weird change, huh?
Yeah, just because from working, it was like there feels like there's so much less responsibilities.
Yeah.
Because from the companies, they have two different owners, but
you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I'm gonna get caught, guys. No. It's okay.
At least you didn't have to do school.
Yeah. Also, like, transportation-wise, I'm like, oh my gosh, I miss walking so much.
Really?
Yeah, it's because Chandler's not very walkable, so it's like,
it's kind of funny. I feel like I don't like walking.
No, but I love walking here. Only here, though, because it's, like, not that.
Well, it's like scenery over here. I feel like it's nice. Scenery. You can walk and you're in the fucking forest. Excuse my language, but you're in a forest. You're watching random people walk by.
Yeah.
Over there, it's like, yeah, you're watching random people, but you don't know who has a knife or not. You don't know.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
You don't know who,
like
if you're gonna get
okay. No.
Oh, you know.
Oh, no. How was your week? I was gonna say weekend. That's crazy.
My winter break?
Yeah.
It was quite nice, honestly. I mean, there's like, of course, hit or misses, and there's, situations, but I feel like my first semester of college was really difficult for me. And it was a really nice break because my biggest support system was with me the whole entire time. I got to go out. I got to see my man. And I didn't really have to worry about school, like I had my own room and I was able to do whatever the hell I wanted. But of course, like with my family.
Yeah.
But I think now being back over here, it's a really weird change because I think I got so used to being back home and living that lifestyle that when I'm over here again, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, this is weird.
Yeah. It's definitely like a switch back. If you don't mind me asking, do you think last semester, since you said last semester was a little harder, do you think this semester is going to be easier, or do you think it's going to be twice as hard?
I would like to say that I don't necessarily think that it was hard. I think that the classes were fairly, college classes, they're doable. I think what was hard was me adjusting.
Yeah.
But I think this semester, now that I really know what school is all about, what I should and shouldn't do, and, if I start feeling like that again, like, I should catch myself before I fall deep again.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fairly easy because I'm more experienced.
Yeah.
And I think everyone now coming back understands what they're supposed to be doing. And I don't necessarily mean by it like their majors, but I mean it as a way of they know what school's all about and they understand what responsibilities are bestowed upon them.
That's interesting that you say that, though, because coming back, for me at least, you come back from having this schedule. You haven't engaged with that schedule for a while, and then you come back and you're supposed to go back on it. And I think just for me, that's a little harder. And going back to what you said, like, people should know what they should be able to be doing. Yeah, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Me right now with my quarter life crisis.
Oh yeah, tell me all about that, please.
Okay. So right now I'm like deciding if I want to switch my major or not. And I'm just like, no. But at the same time, I'm like, okay. Because I really thought I had everything figured out. I really did. I really thought I did. It just sucks because I don't want to make this decision and not be happy with it, I suppose. Because I let alone I can't make a decision to where to eat.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's so difficult. Because right now I'm doing my Bachelor of Science in Psychology. But I'm really wanting to do my primary ed. And I don't know I don't want to let others down, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just being like that first gen college student, I don't want to let the rest of my family down. And I know it's nothing like...
It's not like they're forcing you into doing it. It's just...
It's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
And...
I mean, that's understandable. You know, you're the first person in your family to ever go to college. They're probably looking at you as in like, yeah, like college, like whatever, like how's college doing, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how my family is, at least, so I don't know exactly. But they're not forcing you, but it's still a thing where it's like you...
It's like an internal conflict.
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult because I'm like, I want to be this person for my family to look at and be like, he went to college, you should try it out and see if college is right for you. Instead of just being like, oh, college isn't for me, this and that. I don't know, I just don't want to let them down, and I also don't want to let myself down by getting a degree that I won't use, and then disproving myself with that theory.
Yeah. I feel like we're really young still.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like difficult, as our fellow colleague Ernesto was telling us.
Yes.
That we are pretty young, and I think it's interesting because it's like we just came back from our first semester, and now it's like people are kind of realizing, I don't know if I really like this.
Yeah. Existential crisis.
Exactly. I think that's really interesting. Like, in my point of view, it's, I don't know like how to state it, but I think we do have a lot of time. And I know technically in psychology they say not to listen to your gut because it's not real.
Yeah.
But I think to listen to your gut, because clearly you want to do something, you know, and you don't want to drop something because like you really like the classes, or you know, you really just don't know. But if it's just something in the back of your mind, you could always come back. Like, I think education, like personally, I see you in an educational field, but I also don't want to keep pushing it on you, because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. You don't need one more person telling you, I think you should do this, I think you should do that, because at the end of the day, it's your choice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm in that like, I don't know phase of it, and if I should wait it off. But I know if I wait, I'll just end up screwing myself. And I'm like, oh no.
I think that's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
I think a lot of students, I feel like a lot of students right now are struggling with a lot of anxiety. You know, coming back, I did mention that everyone, or majority of people, kind of know what they're doing because they just came back. And, you know, not listening to you, I feel like it goes half and half. If some people know what they're doing and now they figured out what school is, and the other half is just like anxious because they don't even know what the fuck they want.
Yeah. And like, I really thought I had everything figured out, and I really thought that I would be able to stick with it and be like, this is exactly what I want. Yeah. But again, people change. Yeah. And I think that's what sucks. It sucks because for me too, I kind of agree with you. I don't like changing things. I don't like random things out of the blue or anything like that. I like sticking with the schedule, especially if I know it's going to be in my life and I know it's like my future. Yeah. So I understand you to that extent. But at the same time, it's just like kind of interesting because I feel like we're also so like we just came back. Yeah. So it's like I don't want to sound like an older person where it's like we don't, you know, we're still young, we're still this and that, like we still have time to figure it out. Yeah. Because it's really annoying to hear from someone who's like, maybe it's just because we're young and we don't like people telling us what to do. Yeah. But like I definitely understand where that comes from. Yeah. It's like our fellow colleague Ernesto is way above our age. Way above our age. Let's just say that. And he seems like he's done it all. So yeah. It just feels like maybe I do have time. Does it feel refreshing to hear someone from an older perspective to just tell you, like, you're gonna be okay? Yeah, it really does. It clarifies a lot. Especially when they're talking directly to you and they're relating directly to you. Yeah. And I think that really plays a part into believing if they like being true about this. Yeah. Yeah. I do kind of want to talk about
little bit more about going back to school.
Yeah.
I think, how we felt last semester, not how we feel this semester. How do you feel about your classes?
This semester, I feel like they're a little harder.
Really?
Yeah, it's because I was like, last semester was so easy. I didn't have to read any books, any textbooks, or anything.
And now we're like, oh.
And now we're over here. I'm over here drowning in 3 textbooks. I'm like, no.
I have to read a few chapters. That's crazy. I feel like I haven't had that situation yet where I have to read, like, textbooks.
Yeah.
I think also because some of the textbooks I have to read, they're all online. Oh. So it doesn't feel real.
Yeah. Because, like, the textbooks that I have are all physical. And it's so... I'm like, you're telling me...
Big ass book!
Big ass book. And you're telling me I have to read front to back is insane. And I just don't... I don't know if I want to do that again. So it's just like...
I think it's kind of weird because, being here, it's just like an interesting thing where it's like, where did my motivation go, I feel like that's how it feels for me. It's like, where did my motivation go? Because when my first semester, I was like, okay, let's do it. Like we got to go through the college, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. And I think now that I experienced it, like, I have motivation, but it's not as I used to have it. It's not as... And I think it's because of the experience, like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but it's still also rather frustrating. And I feel like a lot of people also understand this, where it's like, they're coming back from a break, a good-ass break, not having to worry about school. They jump in, and they're already stressed this week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that's so...
It's weird.
It's so weird, yeah. Like, for me personally, someone who's really close to me, they were stressing out all last semester because of their major, computer. Yeah. I think it's computer engineering.
Yeah.
And he was so stressed out that we barely got to see each other. Summer hits, not summer. Sorry, summer. Winter break hits, and we finally get to see each other, and we're seeing each other so much, and then we go back to school.
And it's like the same thing again.
It's all over again. It's like, I don't get to see you at all, and you're out here stressing, and it's just week 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand stress, but I think that's something we need to learn. I think
stress management.
Yeah, I think high school never taught us that.
Yeah.
So now that we're here, it's stress, like, it's crazy. And I think a lot of first generations don't know how to do management because for me personally, I feel like sometimes parents don't teach you how to manage.
Yeah, that's true.
And, to them, they probably manage in a certain way, and it necessarily isn't always the right way or the healthiest way. So, now that we're trying to adult, we're bestowed on this, like, responsibility to learn how to manage your money, learn how to get a job, learn how to manage your classes, your stress, your personal life, what time you should eat, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat.
Yeah.
And I mean, a few of those things we kind of got taught, but at the same time, it's not like management in general. We just weren't really taught that.
Yeah. And I feel like that's true to an extent. Obviously, every person's different. Everybody's background is different. So some people will learn how to manage the stress a little easier and a little more healthier. Mm-hmm. But like you said, I feel like most first generation college students aren't really taught how to manage their stress the correct way, how to budget correctly, how to just do a bunch of like basic stuff to either take care of your health or take care of your well-being as a person. And I don't know, I feel like
I also don't like the kind of like when you try to talk about it to an adult or like a parent, it's kind of like a I told you so moment, and it's you didn't really tell me anything. Whenever you try, I feel like for me, there's a few instances where you kind of try talking to like an adult or someone close to your family who's older, and you try to kind of explain how you feel, and it's kind of like like these young kids, and it's like...
It's interesting you say that, just because it really just shows the difference between everybody's background.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, sometimes it's not that I don't feel comfortable sharing that information with like my adults. It's just I don't feel that they can relate in a certain way. Just because, again, I'm the first college student. So if they try to relate, I understand that they are trying to make a connection, trying to understand where I'm coming from and try to give you advice. But sometimes it's like, I just want you to listen.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, I just want comfort. I agree with you on that. Sometimes I feel like I can't necessarily talk to certain people or, you know, some family members about it because they don't really understand, you know, what college is all about. I think you see it through movies and you hear it through other people, but until you really experience it, and it's not like I think what they see is, oh yeah, you're just going to school, like it's just classes. But it's so much more than like to that. You moved out of your home that you've been there for so many years. For me personally, like I've been in that house since I was like in 4th grade, but I've been with the same people all my life. So my whole life is completely changed in a blink of an eye. I'm trying to manage how to live by myself for the first time of like a few years. I mean, yeah, I was independent, but I wasn't that independent. Like, you know, that's for me at least. And I think now going to school, it's like I want to talk to someone about it, and I feel like I can't because it's like, for example, like, oh shit, like I don't know if I'm going to pass this class, this and this and that. And when I say that, at least it's kind of like eyes of like, what do you mean you're not going to pass a class? What do you mean like you're not going to pass the class? And it's kind of frustrating because it's like, you don't understand like how it feels. And when the times I just want you to listen and not necessarily relate, but, you know, bring some type of comfort, and I get pulled with like you're like, what do you mean you're not going to pass the class? Like, what do you mean you can't, like, you should know, like, you're smart. I think that too. I don't like when people are just like, oh, you're smart, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just throwing out like, you're smart, you can do it, isn't always the most helpful thing to listen to. Because it's like, okay, you know, maybe I have a good few smarts in certain subjects, but it doesn't mean I'm like smart. Doesn't mean like, yeah, I'm smart, I can get through this. Like, I can get through this because I have resilience and because I can push through it and I know I can do it. But it doesn't necessarily mean like I am smart.
I can agree to like a certain extent, I suppose. Because when people like say, oh, you're smart, you'll figure it out. It's like, yeah, I'm smart in the sense that book smart, but what about the smart that will help me understand and try to help me throughout my life, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's really interesting about how I think it really talks about individuality and how everyone is so different being here. I think sitting with you, not when I say like that with you, but sitting with you, it makes me realize how much everyone's lives are so different. You know, I'm walking around and I'm talking to these new people and everyone's so different. You know, in my ethics class, it's interesting because I was the first one to bring up that I was first generation, because the question was brought up of, what does university mean to you? What does this mean to you? Not what's why is it important, or why is university important, but why is it important to you?
Yeah.
And I would like to mention that I brought up the fact that I'm first generation in my family, and it's important because it shows that I'm changing a cycle. You know, there's a small percentage of Latinos that actually go to college, let alone being first generation. And, you know, that's important to me because it's not like I'm going to college because my parents are forcing me to, you know, not on some, honey, you need to go to college like me and your dad did. It's a thing where it's like, I'm going because no one else has gone. And, you know, I have 7 siblings.
Yeah.
And I'm the second youngest. And, you know, I want to know how it feels to go to college. Like, we all have different outcomes.
Yeah. I think that's crazy. Like, if you think about that as a statistic, like 1 in 7.
That's crazy, you know? And I think it's really interesting being over here. It's like, and I feel like a lot of Latino students must relate to like our struggles, you know, with you trying to figure out what you really want in your life, me trying to figure out what I'm doing with my, like, what I'm supposed to be doing in general, trying to figure out whether this is good for you, trying to figure out how to live somewhere that's not your home. And I think the break, as much as it was nice, it was a really big reboot for all of us.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, I think as much as I was like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, I can't help but to feel sad. Because for me, I miss my family a lot. Mm-hmm. And now being over here, it makes me realize, like, how much, I think, sorry, I know I'm, like, babbling a lot, but I think in the beginning of college, I was like, oh my god, I finally have my freedom, like, I get to leave, because the whole point was, me going to NAU was because I'm far, but not far.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 2-hour drive for me. And to me, that's not long. Like, I've done it so much to the point where it's like, oh, okay, let's only 2-hour drive. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But now going back home and being here, it makes me realize how much I really liked my life and how I don't want to go back home and I don't want to stop college. But it's interesting because, like, I miss these people. I miss my life, but I know being here is a good thing for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people might be struggling with that. And I think for maybe some Latinos, some of them might go back home because they just can't get used to it, or, you know, they want to go back to their old lifestyle, their old family. You know what I mean?
To an extent.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, that's just how my brain works, at least.
Yeah. It's an interesting observation.
Dilemma.
Dilemma as well. Part of me is like, what if I switch my major now and it's just oh my gosh, you're just experiencing what everybody else as their freshman year experiences.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't change it just because you feel this certain way. So it really just is an internal conflict. Mm-hmm. Like what you said, though, if it feels right, like, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
I think that's okay, honestly.
Yeah.
It's perfectly okay to not be quite sure on what we want. From the beginning, I was very much, I don't see Mexicans. Where are all the beaners at? You know, where's my raza at? And I think now being here, I see them a little bit more. Not a little bit more, I see them more now. They pop out in my eye.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're hiding in their shadows. I think a lot of them aren't, like, you know, they're not the Latinos that we're specifically looking for, but they're technically still Latino. You know what I mean?
I suppose, yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm with you. You're freaking Mexican. I've been around your friends.
Just kidding, yeah.
They're freaking Mexican. There's Mecha. Pretty sure majority of those people are Mexican.
True.
Or Latino, at least. Not necessarily Mexican. Latinos. Latinx. But I think in my class, like, I see them a lot more. And it's really nice. It's something familiar, you know, going back home, seeing all my raza, now coming back and being like, you know what? There is a raza. I don't know. I think it's still hard to make friends, though.
Yeah. I think that's just everybody.
It's so hard to make friends in college. Well,
yeah, because tell me, I was in like a sociology lecture, and I was like, literally nobody's talking. It's like everybody's so individualized, and I think it's so sad, because when you have a community and you have people to talk to, it makes it 2 times better to, like, ask questions, because you'll get a response back. You'll know there's others that are looking out for you. And when you don't build that community, it's like interesting, you know?
Yeah.
It's very much if you're only looking out for yourself, not only are you limiting yourself, but you're limiting others as well of who they can truly be.
Yeah.
I think that's just something that I look at least. It would be so good to see a community built within your classes.
Talk about diversity at NAU, trying to freaking be like, we all diverse, LGBT, look at all the races and ethnicities. We don't talk to each other. You know how many transfer students I see in my psychology class, and I've only talked to once? Like, one?
Yeah, not even that. It's just like community.
Community for real.
Like, we have such a good, strong, like, community, and then when you need something from the community, it's like,
they're like, oh,
oops, we actually don't have one. So,
and it's kind of frustrating too. I think, especially for being Latinos, we're so used to this. I feel like for me, at least, the Latinos I've been raised around, it's like, you see this person, it's like, introduce yourself. Like, who are you? Oh, nice to meet you. Hola, mucho gusto. Me llamo Pauline. ¿Y tú? Oh, eres la hija de Verónica. Sí, like, yeah. Like, we're so used to that. And maybe they are tired of it. But it's also like, where, like, why aren't you talking to me? Like, I'm Latino, please. Like, I know what you're going through. Please. Listen to our podcast. You relate.
Really. It's not even that. It's just like building a student community and being a student within a community and being able to be like, oh, we have friends. Oh, we have, you know, not even like have friends. It's like, oh, I have colleagues. I have people I can turn to and be like, hey, did you get this answer on this?
Low-key.
And just have that mutual like response back and forth. All right.
Anyways, Adan, anything else you would like to say?
I'll go after you.
Oh, okay. You know, per usual, living life is so difficult. Trying to be an adult, trying to figure out all of this is so hard. And you know what? At least we have someone that actually cares about us. And, you know,
shout out to a producer who is wise and knowledgeable. You know, it's kind of sucks being by yourself sometimes. Yeah, I agree. Going from like
being
not having a community to trying to build a community, and to have shout out to producer to have Ernesto as someone that you can turn to and look for guidance. Really, it really is impactful. It's just really impactful.
They underestimate how lost we can become. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
I think having good role models and just good peers in general is really helpful. Well, have a good day, everybody. Coming back from me and Adan.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye.
I want to go home.
Oh.